Have you missed me? Let's see. So right now it's time for another AvGeek Week. We've been busy building up the whole new COAP online setup, and we can't obviously wait to tell you more about that. Much more to come on that. But for now, AvGeek Week, a concentration of all that is cool out there in Planet AvGeek just for you. A bite-sized chunk of everything you need to know right now. Hit it. Okay, it's high time we had another AvGeek Week session, so let's start with the commercial stuff. Going straight into the airport side of things, Heathrow Airport has been trialling the latest in the airport equipment to battle COVID-19. The rollout's being done in Terminal 2 and the results are going to be used in other airports as well. It's going to look at facial recognition thermal screening, contact-free security screening equipment when you go through security, and UV-based sanitation for security trays. I don't know about you, but it sort of all this thinking about it now makes you wonder what was passed in previous visits through airports. I mean, all those people from everywhere touching stuff and putting them through on those grotty old security trays. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it? So it's going to be very interesting to see what they find works and what doesn't. Meanwhile, Gatwick, obviously, it's a shadow of its former self at the moment. Hardly anything's operating out of there, but it's not resting on its laurels. The French investors that they secured a little while back are really pushing ahead for the second runway now, especially given the situation with Heathrow's second runway. And it's looking to handle perhaps short-haul airliners on what was the previous taxiway and emergency runway, hopefully from 2023. So really things accelerating there. What do you reckon? Busiest airport in the world right now? Maybe not what you think. It was Alaska's Anchorage Airport, an incredible cargo hub. Amazing, one of my most favourite places in the world. I'm kind of late in coming to it, but it really is incredible. Saturday, April 26th, saw Anchorage Airport become the busiest airport in the world for operations. The major cargo hub saw 948 movements, and that compares to Heathrow's 682 on the same day. Also this week, a couple of days ago, of the 150 Boeing 747s in the air at any one time, there were a third due in and out of Anchorage, a really super busy place for long-haul cargo ops. Japanese manufacturer Mitsubishi is expected to conclude its acquisition of the Canadair Bombardier RJ series. 1st of June, that's supposed to complete. It's been on the cards for a little while as things very rapidly change in the regional jet production market, as we saw also last week. Fellow AvGeek Paul Webb caught this new Wind Racer Ultra flying over the top of his house. It's a new drone delivering COVID medical supplies from Southampton University, coming out of St Mary's Hospital. Get mention of St Mary's in there for anyone that knows me, Southampton fan. To the Isle of Wight on its first service on the 9th of May. Developed by Southampton University, the drone flew 13 minutes from Leon Solent to Binfield with a stack of PPE in its belly there, apparently cutting down delivery times significantly. And if you look down in the bottom corner there, that is the Wind Racer Ultra arriving on a very interesting approach. Wow, so the amazing guys at Sam Tree Aviation and Travel blog site and YouTube channel, give them a look. There's some really interesting stuff there. They've produced a list of all of the retired aircraft across the whole airline industry. Quite a feat, and Katerina Maduria has done that on soundtree.com. And that's one of his shots of a Virgin 747 lifting out of LAX in better days. Another impact list, go on to Airline Reporter. This is via airportspotting.com. And Airline Reporter has done an impact of COVID-19 on US passenger airlines. And if you look at those graphs, it shows you the operations versus the fleet. It's a fascinating read. It's quite intense, but a fascinating read. And that's by Nick Benson on Airline Reporter. Beautiful new retrojet. I love retrojets in the civvy world. So Middle East Airlines, MEA, celebrating its 75th anniversary with this retro A320. The scheme's based on that applied to the Boeing 707s from the mid-1960s, and that came to us from our good friends at Scramble. All right, straight on to the military stuff. We're rattling through it this week. Bite-sized chunk, everything you need all in one. Boeing has flown its recent SB-1 Defiant, the assault helicopter prototype. It's being developed in conjunction with Sikorsky to contend for a huge US Army contract. It's intended to fly further and faster than any other helicopter. And you can see it's got contra-rotating props there. It's a pretty big helicopter as well. It's going to be very interesting to see how this develops. This is an official Boeing footage here. It's always interested me that how As you can see, official Boeing stuff. It always interests me how such media from such massive companies are produced on just mobile phones and slightly low res and not amazing, you know, but it did the job. In the mass media market communication industry that we live in now, the message was out. But I do wonder about the quality sometimes. That's perhaps another subject for another day. Talking of quality photo shoots, this was some very interesting results come out of this one. Alaska is reveling in the delivery of the F-35s. Obviously, the F-35s are now based at Eelson, the F-22s at Elmendorf, and the aggressor F-16s of the Swamp Foxes up at Eelson as well. So they've done some amazing photo shoots. Some of the results were better than others, I have to say, which kind of relates back to the previous point. Just personal opinion stuff, and I'll definitely be picking that up in a future blog post on COAP Online. You bet, that's going to be an interesting debate. This was an interesting find as well. This comes again from our good friends at Scramble, posted on their Facebook page, an image by Dirk Groot. Good friends at Scramble showed us the Airbus A350 for the Luftwaffe is nearing completion. This is on approach to be outfitted by Lufthansa Technik, and the VIP role in the aircraft will become 1003. I remember when they were 707s in that role. Wasn't that an amazing sight back in those days? Talking of amazing sights, MiG-29 on Fulcrum on Twitter pushed out these shots of these Mongolian MiG-29s being received, ex-Russian Air Force, and they're replacing MiG-21s. He also posted some unbelievable African MiGs. Look at that Ethiopian MiG-27, absolutely gorgeous. Other rare shots from Zambia, Mozambique and Madagascar on his feed. Well worth a follow if you're into exotic aircraft and MiGs. Who isn't, right? Next up, Saab 105 days in Swedish Air Force are numbered. The Air Force has been approved to start looking for a new type to replace it. It's likely to be off the shelf from 2023. Goodbye to a very classic, charismatic aircraft type there. Not many indigenous types left around, certainly of that age, so they'll be sorely missed. Very photogenic, I find, as well. And from what I hear, not that I've flown one, also a superb camera ship. Incredible to think that some of those have got 4 seats in as well. Unbelievable type. Anyway, and the Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force, the first V-22s have been delivered. They arrived at Iwakuni for checking over by the US Marines at the base there, and they'll be based at a new facility. Sorry, they'll be based at Kisarazu actually to start with before they move to the new facility when the entire fleet is there. They'll be at Kisarazu for 5 years. There's a lot of controversy about the V-22 being delivered to Japan. Actually, there was a real concern over the safety record of the type, but obviously that's been, you know, worked on extremely hard over a long period of time. It's a bit of a different beast than it was certainly when it first started. So they're going to get 17 of the type, and they're going to be moved up to a new facility at Saga Airport in Kyushu. And we go now on to the show stuff and some particularly cool bits and pieces on this, although again there's not much air show stuff happening, but there's still developments in that world. So it was interesting to see that Avalon, the most perhaps far-reaching in terms of dates, has already been affected by COVID. That was due in February. They've now shifted it to November, and it'll be the 100th anniversary of the Australian Air Force, so it's a big deal. So I guess, like I alluded to start with, that all the preparation and everything else, although the event's not in February, there's so much that has to be done beforehand that just can't be done remotely, etc. So they've made the sensible move to push it to November, and we will very much be looking forward to going down there to celebrate with them on that amazing event. Another big casualty of COVID was, of course, Oshkosh, which has also announced that the 2020 event is cancelled. So again, we look forward to going over there in 2021. Can't wait. We'll also be able to see this now. Brand new Viper demo scheme based on the Venom Snake scheme with the 77th Fighter Squadron at Shaw Air Force Base. A couple of decent shots of it there, interesting light and everything else. Not sure I would have cut the nose off and tail off in that image down there, but hey, who am I? We'll surely have a chance to see this. Now, obviously, it's a bit strange announcing a new colour scheme for the show season when there aren't any shows, but we hear that this is going to be around for 3 years. Do check showstuff.com for more updates. Now, this is a stunning scheme. Oh my goodness. Wasn't massively a big fan of this when it first came out, but it's definitely grown on me. So this is the 173rd Fighter Wing at Kingsley Field in Oregon Air National Guard. It's been around for a few months, but I really like that shot. Now, I'm not entirely sure who took it. It was posted on the 173rd Fighter Wing Facebook group without a credit. So it could have been one of their guys, it could have been one of their pilots, but I understand some of the regular US military photographers, I believe may have been Jake Malampy. Jake, if you're watching, let me know if that's your shot. but they certainly posted it on there, and I really like it. It's not particularly a dynamic shot. It's not like a crazy break or vertical or anything else, but it just shows the entire view of it perfectly. I also love the fact that it's armed as well. I don't know about you, but that really also conveys the sheer size of the Eagle. It's quite remarkable, and what a interesting scheme as well. Good stuff, Oregon Air National Guard. Super Blues, heads up again to airshow stuff and the War Zone. The first Super Hornets have broken cover for the Blue Angels, looking very shiny and new. And talking of new as well, the Blue Angels Fat Albert, the C-130 support aircraft, that it hasn't been around for quite some time now, maybe a year or so. But there's a new one being fitted out at Marshall's in the paint shop, and this team is certainly going to look very slick with all its new toys in 2021, and I can't wait to be shooting those. Now, oh my days, talk about the Blue Angels. This was, as I say, a real head shaker. The guy posted this video from a drone on social media. It blew up, it went viral. It shows footage from his drone where he'd positioned it over near where the Blues were going to do one of their America Strong flyovers, this being over Detroit. The guy claimed that they were supposed to go over the river, not over the sea, not over the built-up area, so he thought it was safe. But I mean, even there's so many things in that just don't add up. I mean, this could have had very, very serious consequences. Yeah, it's just a nightmare. It so often happens in times like this. You get a ruling that comes in. He may not even be affected by the new ruling, but those guys that do use drones for a living and are correctly abiding by all the rules will now have perhaps it even tighter as a result of crazy stuff like this. Just watch this footage, and bear in mind a drone has got a very wide angle lens as well, and this could have been absolutely horrific. Anyway, let's move on. Indeed we shall, to nostalgia and some really cool stuff this week. So I've mixed in the nostalgia stuff with some cool stuff as well. Look at this, more Falkland images. Follow Roland White on Twitter. Sea Harrier FRS-1 on the deck, and a Victor with full refueling stuff hanging out over the top of Ascension. Just unbelievable. What a shot, what a sight indeed. This was a NASA shot, obviously the Rogers Dry Lake bed of the X-15 with the B-52 over the top, and just a classic scene of vehicles and uniforms and test pilot heroics. Just, I absolutely love that shot, and this is, as I've called it there, the wonderful world of social media, because it really does throw up some gems sometimes. Talking of gems, a USAF image, just a B-47 with, I think that's probably rocket assisted, or was it jet assisted takeoff, RATO or JTO, I'm not sure which one that was. But it is awesome nevertheless. What a picture. It's one of my favourite ones indeed from that era. I'd also like to, as amazing as that is in colour, I'd also like to see that in black and white with all those tones. Oh my goodness, incredible. I love that. The Northrop Flying Wing. Yeah, just drink that in for a minute. Unbelievable stuff. Thank you, Northrop Grumman's, for sending that out. And this was a really cool shot. Again, look at the titanium on that beast, upside down on the radar cross section on the, obviously it's Groom Lake, just in the early days of that bird's testing. The beautiful stuff. And Elon Musk obviously took his son's name from that, being the Archangel. Yeah, whatever. Alrighty. Now this was, oh man, these F8s, these eluded me. In my trips over to the States on many occasions, I saw these, they never moved, and then I saw them in the dump, and I believe now a couple are in museums, but these were F8 Crusaders being bought up by Thunderbird Aviation that were used for trials and test purposes and test support work. I'd never seen photographs, or barely any photographs of them under their own power, so this is gorgeous. Sean Carroll from Warbirds in Peacetime Facebook group. Look at that, indeed. Beautiful. Now, I apologise for this. I didn't put the credits on. I'm very, very sorry. If these are your images, please do let me know, and I'll amend it on the next AvGeek week. Philippine Air Force Crusaders air-to-air. Wow. There's a 7 ship of Philippine Air Force Crusaders. Oh my goodness. And then below that we have Egyptian MiG-29s on the flight line there, and a MiG-21 on the flight line. I love that MiG-21 scheme. It's brown and orange and light grey underneath. Gorgeous. I get the impression that may have been taken on through an airline window, perhaps on taxi. I'm not sure, but that's quite a sight. And I also really enjoyed seeing that the row of MiG-29s, the German Air Force, obviously the Luftwaffe inheriting those when the border came down. Again, if these are your shots, I do apologise for missing off the credits. I'm so sorry. That's not like me at all. This is all about promoting your work. So if this is your stuff, then let me know. And that amazing view of MiG-21s, just before the wall came down in East Germany. Beautiful. Drink it in. Next up, Viper Flare, ABDNAV2K2 on Twitter. He posted some gorgeous operational F-16 stuff. Some Belgians flying through low level there and some Greek dogfighting. It's a wicked account. Give that a follow. Talking of coolness, Rick Brill, one of the legends of aviation, posting now and again some of his shots he took whilst being in the forefront of RAF photography back in the day. So he's well worth looking out on Facebook, and also the RAF Cosford Twitter feed as well. Some really classic stuff out of Cosford there, showing the hangar full of Sea Kings and Jaguars and Tornadoes. Just really an amazing place to look around if you ever get the chance. And of course, Rick Brill's, some of his shots there as well, just to close that off. Absolutely gorgeous. Well done. Love this. This is the Lion of the South F-35 in Israeli Air Force, posted by Amrit Agronov. And follow the Israeli Air Force Instagram for more shots like that. And just cool stuff. Imagine doing a night shoot with the Iranian F-14 Tomcats. Look at that, slipping out of the shelter there. Absolutely beautiful. I can really picture myself there, as I'm sure any AvGeek can. So it must be a dream shoot, that for sure. Really excellent stuff. I enjoy seeing the credits down the bottom there. Enjoy watching the more and more quality stuff coming out of Iran as time goes on. The Warzone has reported that the Iranian F-14s used a modified SAM Hawk fitted with a bomb on its nose. They attached the bomb to a surface-to-air missile and strapped it on F-14s. Check that story out. Whilst the Fighter Pilot podcast posted a tale on their Twitter feed from the Aviation Geek Club about an Iranian fighter pilot who claimed 16 kills. Interesting talk on that. Okay, AvGeeks Central. This is Planet AvGeek, where we show you the latest and greatest merch that's out there. Bit of light-hearted stuff. Not sure about it myself on the whole the way the Luftwaffe has gone that for the Richthofen sort of braving the virus, saying we're carrying on flying through COVID. I don't know. It's fighter pilot humour, I guess, but yes, it's all good. But make sure you look out our Armchair Aviator patch, which is slightly less COVID related. Maybe it's just too early. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being oversensitive on it. Then we also saw obviously there's a US Navy intercepts of the UFOs. Clever little use of a meme come out on social media. Isn't that what social media is for? And on YouTube, a man builds full-size World War II replicas from old swimming pools. You have to watch it to believe it. Incredible stuff. I want to give a shout out to these guys. This is the All-American AvGeeks at Ramp Check Global. Give them a look. Great guys. Really enjoyed listening to their podcast recently. Got some superb merchandise, and I thoroughly recommend looking out what they do and how they do it. And I'm very much looking forward to getting to know you guys better. And who knows, some collabs in the future. Bring it on, eh? And finally, we come to AvGeek of the Week. If I had a drum roll, I would do it now. Neil Bates. He's a great lad. I don't know him that well. I've met him a couple of times briefly, but certainly he's been through a lot. And yeah, really solid AvGeek member of our beloved community. Really enjoy your post, mate. It's great stuff. And you are AvGeek of the Week. Why this week? Why now? Because you've been through some amazing shoeboxes. Look at this stuff that Neil Bates has uncovered. His sticker collection from back in the day. I mean, there's some real memories there. Tiger Squadron, 74 Squadron Phantoms, the Air Fates at Mildenhall, the Tornado F2, airshow programs, airshow stickers, old school Phantom stickers, Tornado stickers, Aggressors, the Alconbury F5s, Air Day 85 at Chivener, where those Hawks, the tail codes on those Hawks there spell out Chivener, fantastic. And Task Force Falcons out of Waddington. Beautiful stuff. Congrats, mate. And we'll see you soon when this is all over. Talking of all over, that's it for AvGeek Week this week from COAP Online, where we bring you virtually everything aviation. Stay tuned for a hell of a lot more. I can't wait to get it all going for you. Take care and cheers for now. Hit subscribe.